So basically, I have just time on top of time. I do not like making these anymore. Um, I had a good run the other day. It kind of beat my best time by a lot, by like 12 minutes. And I was really sore when I went out. Um, had a good workout yesterday. My abs are sore. Really, it's just I guess it's just keeping up with it and just keeping on going. I don't really have much to say, obviously. I I don't know. Really, I've just been balancing out my workouts really well. Uh, I'm getting back to the point where I can almost push harder, but not very much. if there was a plane where I could start pushing harder, I've just barely crossed it. Um, it's really hard to make these a lot of times because sometimes you psych yourself out, sometimes you build yourself up. But for me, it's just easier just to keep most of it in. Which is why I didn't need to make a video like every day. I don't know. Really, for the next week, I just have, I was just thinking about it is that, like, going to the gym like 7 days a week, which I really am going every single day. Because I'm doing, lifting, and I'm doing recovery work and all the different angles of it. It takes going every day. And obviously, I won't stick with that going all the time, but for the meantime, I am. And I was thinking the other day that it would be nice just to not, you know, it's like it's a weird addiction, you know, and honestly, it's just one of those things that, like, I just don't feel like burnt out from it. I definitely don't love it, but I don't really get burnt out from it. It's a good feeling, and it's something that I guess I don't really enjoy doing. I just enjoy the the result. And so, in a way, it is difficult to keep going because you're never going because you're liking what you're doing. You're always going for like a purpose that's not really clear. And yeah. And so right now, I guess, like, because I'm not really training, I don't really have like any exact focus. Like, I'm not like, I don't really have like a plan. Like, my plan is everything that I'm doing at the gym. So it's just kind of wearing on me because the whole idea is just to go to the gym and just get through these workouts, which have had some benefit to them, to me. I really have seen some pretty drastic results, but that comes from the same motion of running or whatever it is you're doing. When I'm on the bike, I have the same issue, is that I develop these certain muscles, and then you semi get comfortable, but you reach this threshold where, like, the motion is uncomfortable because you just too unbalanced. Like, it's there becomes a problem. And it's like with running, it's obviously like the most natural thing to do, but it's like the over exerting yourself. there's just nothing that balances it out. And so, like, the big thing really is just that I feel good, even though I am still tired, because everything is like my knees aren't clicking and my hips aren't hurting as bad. I mean, everything is still hurting, but it's like all like getting better quickly. And so, one of the hard parts about doing what I'm doing now is that it's just not fun. It's not really engaging. It's mentally draining because you just have to be thinking about doing it all the time. And it isn't an immediate gratification thing at all. In fact, if anything, it's fixing problems that have happened over the course of however long. And though the other things that I'm thinking about is just where I'm going, how hard to push in my next kind of, because I'm getting closer to the end of this cycle, which isn't just not as long, but like where and how I'm going to push and what I'm going to work on coming up here shortly. You know, and I talked about like traveling and I talked about different things, and it's not that I wouldn't travel. It's just and it is kind of a crappy excuse, but like in one way I don't really want to drive, and another way I don't want to. I don't want to deal with the COVID stuff, and you know, money for me isn't just like endless. So, and actually through COVID, I kind of saved a lot of money because I wasn't going anywhere. But what's happening is that you know, I don't, it's not that it's a bad routine and a bad habit, but it's kind of it becomes sort of, I guess lonely is a good way of putting it, because you are so fine-tuned in what you're doing that you don't need anybody else. You don't need to rely or ask questions anymore. You don't even need to watch YouTube videos. You don't have anything that you needed like you did before. And it's all for like, you know, a dedicated purpose. And so like in one way, I guess that's why it's really not, why it still feels rewarding, even though it's not like exciting and it doesn't make me happy. Like there's like when I go in sometimes to the gym, like yesterday was sort of an example, but for the most part I was just tired, like normal. As you know, when you're going in and you're not like kind of feeling it, like doing like, you know, like, I know this sounds stupid and probably is stupid, is that it's not like I'm going in there like, you know, let's see what I can do, like building myself up, like I'm repairing myself. It's sort of like when you're putting mods on your car versus fixing your car, and or you know, whatever. And it's just not like it's not draining to the point where it's just so gray that there's just no like joy or excitement in it really. And there's nothing that's like driving me, which is so funny because I went for my run. I guess I'll just put down numbers real quick. Is that I've been doing the same run, and I think it's 4.5 miles. You know, it could be more, but it's 4.5 miles. And typically I would run that comfortably in about 1 hour and 20 minutes. And if I was pushing a little harder, I would, like, pretty much almost my all-out effort, I would come in around 112, 115. So about 5 minutes different. And what happened is that, you know, because I've recovered, but I've also like kind of balanced myself out, that like I'm not having, I feel way better while I run. And I'm not pushing myself. It doesn't feel like I'm pushing myself. And The other day when I ran that exact same thing. I did a 112, which I thought was really good. And then what was funny is that I went out to do this run, and I never set time goals really. Sometimes distance, but usually distance is just like, because like you have to run around a tree, and the tree is just like a certain distance, and there's stuff in between, and that's just how it is. But the other day I was like, it would be really cool, like before I left, and I was exhausted. I barely slept the night before, and I was like, it'd be really cool if I could get under, an hour doing this run. And I started out and I felt great from the very get go, really. And it just got better from there. And at the end, I didn't feel like I pushed myself. I just felt like I didn't actually feel like I was ahead. I knew I was ahead, but I didn't feel like it. It just felt like, that I checked my watch early and I just was, it was just whatever. But I ended up like passing, at 58 minutes. And it was a weird, like, kind of accomplishment, because it wasn't like, it's not impressive. It's not like amazing, but it was just like, I didn't think that I could do it before I left. Like, there was no, like, I really did. I mean, because I'm so used to have running, pushing myself and only coming in at like a 112. It was just weird to like not even worry about it and just kind of, and not be out of breath and not have really pushed myself, and kind of, came in at, way faster time. And so it, I see the benefits of it, and I see like that, how I'm improving. I guess it's just like a weird mood I'm in. It's not like, why am I doing this? It's just more like, I don't know. I guess it's like, the further you run, and the faster you want to be. So the more you run in terms of time, the more semi discouraged you get, because you only make so much progress. And then if you're not there to where like other people are, then you're looking at yourself like, man, I wasted a lot of time. And so like you're always kind of constantly battling, like, it's not impressive, but it's helpful and it feels good. And so really, I guess, and part of it is the changing weather, because it's gotten colder, and so like the days of me wanting to go just explore a little bit more and just go have fun have kind of gone away. Not really, but like, it's just like everything's just changing so much that it's just hard to like keep up. And so I know I ranted again for this video, but I don't really even care. I was gonna make exciting videos, but I just don't think I have it in me anymore. I just feel like this is just more like of a recording of like how I'm feeling. So like a year from now, if I keep going or if I don't keep going and I want to benchmark something, I'll be there. Have this to look at. Not even for motivation, just kind of for curiosity. But the cool part is, the funny part is the other thing that I know about fitness. It's so funny using it as like a down or whatever. But the thing I know about fitness, or whatever, I don't know, is that like all the gains that I've made up till now, see, they don't go away immediately. And so like, even if you stop what you're doing now, in the future you're still going to be better for what you did up until this point. And most people, they sort of don't realize that, and I think if you lose sight that like you can take a break and then come back to it later on, then you really become hopeless. And for me, it's not that way. It's just more like, I see it as having to wait through the winter till next spring and summer to like, go ride my bike or like go on a trip or like to really go explore again or just enjoy being outside. Anyway, so hopefully I can just make it through because I'm already getting the winter blues, like just thinking about how cold it's gonna be and just dealing with the harshness of it. But it does make me stronger. And it makes everything better eventually. So I really just made this video because I was waiting for my laundry to get done and I didn't want to, but it's done and now I can go to the gym for like the 30th day in a row. And the funny part is too, is that like, there's definitely exercises that you can do outside of the gym. But the one area of fitness or the one area of lifting that is really hard to replicate anywhere besides a dedicated gym is like rehab work. Where you're really isolating certain motions and you're doing stuff like that. And I know that there's going to be all these people that try and give you a million different, crazy poses and, yoga and all this stuff. But after you come off of running and you are just drained, it's just nice to like, it's the easiest way. Whereas like, if you have dumbbells, it's easier to stay home and build. But if you're trying to rehab, it's easier to go to the gym. So it's just kind of like, I'm just in a position right now where I feel blah. I'm tired and cranky and generally just, I don't know, numb. But anyway, I'm gonna get to the gym so I can get out.